Day sports fans, Robert Balajadia here, and I'm joined by a special cast of people today. The first ever GDOE Esports League, the Latte ESPORTS League, wrapped up just this past weekend, and we had our first champions ever, the Teens and Titans. We're going to get to all of that action pretty soon, but let's introduce these people on the call, starting with the mastermind behind all of this. And he's had a long history of streaming and being a part of the fighting game, video game community here in Guam. Ken San Nicolas, if you could just introduce yourself, and then everyone else just,
Sure.
fall in line there.
Sure. Hafide, my name is Ken San Nicolas. I'm the commissioner of the GDOE Varsity Esports League.
And Laura? Is it my turn?
Oh, we're gonna Coach Labrador. If you could go ahead and start it off, and then Josh, Krispin, and then Christian, and then we'll
There you
get
go.
into
Well, there's our intro. Thank you.
it. Cool.
Hi, I'm Coach Ronald Labrador, Tiyan High School coach for the esports.
Your turn, Joshua.
Yes. My name is Joshua Padaong, and I'm becoming 12th grade next year.
Awesome.
Okay, your turn, Christian.
Hello, my name is Christian Cat. I'm going to be a junior at Tiyan High School next year, and I'm a part of Tiyan High School's Smash competitive community.
Okay. Hi, my name is Krispin Cat. I am junior. I'm graduating. And yeah.
Congratulations, you guys, the Teens and Titans wrapped up a championship run in Super Smash Brothers. Of course, we're talking about the esports league that just wrapped up. Really quickly, let's talk about how this even got formed. Coach Ken, you've been a part of the fighting game community. Everyone knows you around as streaming fighting game video games. They can associate you with everything that's been going on here. So when did this idea become an actual or become more than an idea, and how did this whole thing pan out, and how quickly did this pan out?
So, I'm a nerd. I play a lot of video games, and I like competitive play. I like sports. I like MMA. I did the PXC thing for over a decade. And when PXC retired, when we kind of just stopped doing the fights, I needed to fill the void, right? And I said, hey, why don't I just move some of that effort into doing events for the younger generation? And I've always been in a competitive fighting game scene, at least. So I knew that there were skilled players on Guam, and I wanted to cultivate and develop that talent. And one of my goals has always been to get it into the school system, just because in the States, they've already taken that jump at least 2 years in. So I knew that I'd want to build something that would go there. So last year I built the Latte ESPORTS League, which was just basically monthly events catered around fighting games, but then they had teams had sponsors, and we kind of just marketed it in a way that it was very appealing, and it made players look cool. Like, they're not just nerdy kids, you know what I mean? Like, anybody can play, and anybody's accepted, and it's competitive. It brings out the best in every player. And then late last year, I pitched that idea to John Fernandez, the superintendent. He had that idea, but I don't think, I think other parties, Tegan Brown, he also had pitched a similar idea to John Fernandez and to Al Garrido. And, I don't know what their initial timeline was. I don't know if they were planning for 2020 start, but with the pandemic happening and quarantine and, schools being canceled and sports being canceled for the rest of the school year, I think there was an obvious opportunity there to fill in a void with something new and risky in a way, right? So that's how it pretty much started. And I guess Al and John woke up one day and was like, hey, those guys talked about esports one time. Let's try it out. Let's do it. Well, what do we need to do it? And luckily, thankfully, there's coaches like Ron, Joaquin Diego from Southern, Will Flores from Southern, tons of coaches that are, it's new ground for the island of Guam, and they really leapt at the opportunity. And we're lucky to have a stable of 31 players or so in this initial pilot program who who gave it all they could, and online in a very tricky format, and it worked out pretty well, I think, so far.
Yeah, Tegan Brown also trying to form an outside of GDOE actual varsity esports league. Well, we can talk to Tegan. We'll catch up with Tegan later about that, but let's focus in on the GDOE Latte Esports League. Really quickly also, Ken, I know because you said you wanted to get this in schools, I know because you were participating in a lot of these fighting game communities and fighting game tournaments, a lot of the people that would join, especially for Smash in general, I know a lot of them were young kids, right? So I'm sure you saw the potential there. How much did that play a factor, seeing kids come out when you'd host tournaments? How much did seeing those, I guess, younger kids come out and actually compete inspire you to really push the initiative to get it into high school?
Like when I first when I was playing, right, when I was like a competitive player, if you would call it that, the guys who were young, they were like maybe 3 or 4 years younger than me at the time, right? So we would fly out to Manila, or we would fly out to Japan, and we would compete there, and that was our crew, and that's how we built like the competitive edge. But when Super Smash Brothers kind of came out, I noticed that it kind of catered to a much younger demographic, and I never realized how young they were until I asked for birthdays. And then I get like, oh, I'm 14 years old. I'm like, holy cow, you're not out of high school? Oh, wow, okay. Like Krispin, like you look at Krispin, he played in the Latte ESPORTS League. He was on one of the main teams. He's like a top 8 ranked player on Guam. I actually didn't even know he was in high school until the GDOE thing. So it's kind of crazy. I would say like 70% of the people who participate in the GDOE Varsity Esports League this time around have been to a Latte Esports League tournament or have played in a local tournament before, so they have some kind of experience. And it's and it just goes to show that you can really build the caliber of player here if you just provide the avenue or the venue for them to compete and sharpen their skill. So.
Great. Yeah, I'm a huge video game advocate too. I enjoy a fair share of playing video games, so I completely understand. And yeah, I think it's a very exciting opportunity for these young guys to actually, flex their skills. There's a lot of skill goes into playing video games, and I'm pretty sure that the younger generation understands that more than the olders. But I'm glad that we're getting a lot of people to understand more that it's part of the culture now, and it's great. Coach Labrador, when this whole thing started, what steps did you have to go through? Did you already know that, hey, I know a bunch of people at Tiyan who want to play video games? Was it difficult trying to collect these guys together? Did they come after you? Did they find you? Or how was the whole process for you trying to put a team together when you found out, hey, it's officially happening, GDOE Esports League?
Actually, we got the president of the gaming club right here. It's Christian's brother. It's Crispin's brother. It's Christian down here. And yeah, so it was pretty easy to get. I was already a co-advisor in there. And actually, prior to that, I was actually in another gaming club, competitive gaming club that I formed. But it was still the same thing. These guys are already a tight-knit group, and they were practicing Smash Brothers already. And we were blessed with Crispin just sharing his skills and just doing his thing. And when they announced the first game to be Smash Brothers, I was tingling inside like, oh man, we got Krispin.
Awesome. Well, yeah, let's catch up with some of these players. I guess we'll start with Krispin. Krispin, everyone says that you were a catalyst for the team and your success in this league. I only watched the VOD, so I only know you guys by your screen name. If you guys can just share who you guys were. What were your screen name during the VODs? I'm also going to link the VOD in the story so people can go check it out later. So let people know who you guys were.
Okay. Wait, who goes first?
Crispin, you go first. You go first.
Okay. As for me, I was the Ryu and Ken player. Was it Ronin? And I was the Ryu and Ken. And yeah, those were my goals.
Okay, so you were Renin. Christian, who were you? What was your screen name during the tournament?
During the tournament, because me and Crispin were brothers, right? We only have one switch.
Okay.
So we ended up using the same tag because you can't really switch it, right, when you go online play. So I was under Renin too, but you can tell that I was different because of the characters I played. The character I played throughout most of the tournament, I think, was just Dr. Mario. Yeah.
Okay. And Josh, what was your tag?
My tag was Joshua.
Joshua. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was the Great Ninja and the Zelda player.
Awesome. And fortunate for you guys, I play Smash too, so I know a lot of the lingo and the jargon and the characters especially too. So this isn't coming from left field. I know some background at least. So let's start with Krispin. I watched you were part of you were using Dr. Mario in that last set, right? And then I think you were challenging someone from JFK that consistently used Banjo throughout the tournament. And then you switched it up at the end, right? Playing Captain Falcon instead of Dr. Mario. Yeah. What was the process behind that? And did you notice a pattern? I think it's Premier, right? That was his name. Did you notice?
Premium.
Oh, Premium. Sorry. Did you guys notice something? Because he stuck with Banjo throughout the entire championship run. Did you guys notice something that he was doing that I guess presented you opportunities to really take that championship match?
When it came to fighting the Banjo, the reason I switched to Captain Falcon was actually because I figured if he was going to be using projectiles that much, and if I was going to be struggling to get in, to really hit him,
yeah,
obviously, I figured I could use a faster character to attempt to do that. But that actually backfired on me because Captain Falcon doesn't have any projectiles of his own. So really what ended up happening was I just kept chasing him, and he just kept using projectiles on me. And every time I did get in, he would use his invincible side beat. So it was really hard for me to adapt to it. And it was partly my fault because I lost to him before, and I realized that he was just going to use the projectiles, but I didn't practice, and I didn't try to figure out a way to beat it. So
okay.
That was my fault, yeah.
Well, you guys performed extremely well. Christian, when you guys are in the process of, I guess, training for this, how often do you guys train against other characters? Do you guys pick your characters based on counter picks? Do you guys go with characters that you're just overall comfortable with? Or what goes into the process of actually selecting a character and sticking with that character or playing that certain character?
Are you asking Christian or are you asking me?
Christian.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I don't really practice. I play the game for fun most of the time, just against random people.
Mm-hmm.
I've never actually been in a competitive scene in Smash before. I mostly just play friendly against Krispin. That's where I learned most of what I know. So I don't actually know how the process for training is.
Okay. And Josh, what was your overall experience through the tournament? I know this was the very first time it's done, so you went from casually playing probably to competitive switch right away. How was that process for you? Was it nerve-wracking? Did you come up with some late game strategies, or talk to me about your experience with the league so far?
It was very nerve-wracking because I was not used to the online type of gameplay because there would be lag and delay, and I would have to I had to practice online with my friends from other schools because I was not used to it, and since they were nice enough to help me out, I think that's what actually got me into the team because I was terrible in online. For casuals, offline, I would be fine, but online, I just could not play the game properly because I was not used to it.
Yeah, Krispin, can you touch up on that? I mean, how did you manage to deploy your strategy? Because lag, ping, and all these issues are every gamer on Guam knows that this is a huge problem, and we always complain saying if we had stateside ping, we'd be considered a lot better than we actually are. So can you speak on trying to adjust to the lag in gameplay with how it messes up your normal inputs and stuff?
Yeah, here's the thing about Smash is because it's a platform fighter, there are moves that cover long areas, multi-hits, projectile, stuff like that. You or hard to react to stuff like Sonic Spin Dash or Track Shoot from Terry or Side B, and stuff like that are fast moves. those stuff, a lot of the lag and latency, it rewards less precise plays than it does in offline, of course. So a lot of my strategies have revolved around like easier options, less precision, because precision is very unrewarding with Wi-Fi. I can randomly just pop up and mess with it. Very tight move. Like let's say, you have to time like a 10 frame, let's say a 45 frame that existing hitbox. That lasts for like time. It's a really hard, precise counting to timing that is very difficult and rewarding. You could make one mistake on to the lag spike up, and then you get hit, and then that can cost you the entire match. So the answer is I stopped using those reliable different mindset. So instead, I had to use easier options. See people use easier options, and it doesn't as big brain as you would like it to feel. That's also a layer of strategy. Oh, that hyping. But yeah, there's a different layer of online. You have to play a lot more easier, more option coverage. You have to do like less precision, but there is precision, of course. Like you do have to time your moves, but it's less, or you have to do ones that cover less. Like those ones are bad to cover less space. So yeah, it's just better option coverage. So easier moves, better option coverage on Wi-Fi. I think you could see those from the matches against technician and stuff like that. It very rarely see you time certain moves that will poke them like tilts, heavy up tilt, forward tilt, stuff like that. Just moves that keep them in neutral. They're not as reliable. Stuff like that.
We got a little bit of an echo there, but I think I understood pretty much the basis of what you were saying. That makes a lot of sense too. Play safer characters. Coach Labrador, what was this process like for you? Because this is an esports team. Were you like spearheading the practices? Are you aware of all the other schools? Because you guys all had to do this without actually meeting each other, right? You guys actually had to do this all online. You couldn't go and see each other during the pandemic. So how difficult was it for you to kind of just operate from a coaching standpoint when you really couldn't, have a simple meetup with each other and really get to know your opponents or get to see your opponents?
That's a very good question, actually. I set up a Discord, so we connected to Discord. It's a communication and informative hub of where we could actually get together and voice chat and share information like YouTube tutorials, techniques, and I would actually set up practice in a way that, because I used to win back in the day. I used to have training camps because I was actually into this whole Tekken thing, and back then I had it. Me and Krispin had a talk. And he's actually my student for ballroom dancing class because I teach ballroom dancing, and we had a long talk. Yeah, we had a long talk in doing break time, and we discussed our philosophies, and it was so awesome. We're just trading off ideas, and it was so similar to what he does. Like we had similar concepts, and so one of the main concepts we talked about was the fact that one of the main training procedures we went through was having a pro player or someone extremely good tell his weakness towards all his trainees and his friends. Because what he does when he trains them, he actually exposes his weakness, and he actually has to learn from his own weakness. At the same time, the trainees are exposed to a new outlook or approach on how to go about a person. So they had a lot of exchange, pretty much an exchange in these type of strategies, and they were able to meld. And I got pointed out one thing that I noticed from the way beginning. Joshua and Christian, these guys, they significantly improved from what I saw from the beginning of the season. Honestly, like I was afraid of JFK and other crews. They were actually solid. They were solidified players, and I was thinking, oh man, we only got Krispin. And so what Crispin did and these guys all did together, they kept playing. And when they were playing, they weren't just playing; they were actually learning from each other. So it wasn't just a play session. It was actually like a productive learning session every time. And I actually was in Discord to kind of push that. So, hey guys,
Yeah.
remember, you're not just gaming. You make sure you freaking go all out and freaking
Yeah.
trade off ideas, dude. Because you gotta go all out, dude. You can't be like, yeah. So that's the approach. So me and Crispin had like similar mindsets because I used to be in that competitive scene too. So it was pretty easy and it was pretty fun. And this is the moment. Thank you, Ken. This is the moment that like dude, like this is like my second life. But now that you put it together, my first life, which is teaching, I'm like, oh damn, exposed. So here we go.
This is awesome. Ken, I wanted to touch upon you because he brought up a good point about getting in the lab and really working with, like anything, like any sport, it takes a lot of practice to work on certain weaknesses. I know you're a big advocate of just like getting together and playing some games and competing with some of the best guys for nothing. You guys just get together and do it. How important is that? Like to just get in the lab and just hours just play against each other and just build that I guess repertoire of just getting familiar with honing your skills.
It's very big. But like one of the problems with a small pool of players is that if you play the same people over and over again, you say they play the same 5 to 6 people, then you learn 5 or 6 matchups really, really well, but then you suffer in the other 30 matchups, right? And so that's where like international competition or just getting a bigger player base helps. And hopefully something like the GDOE league or outside leagues will help develop that, whether it be fighting games or MOBAs or whatever, first person shooters, whatever the games may be. But lab work is definitely like, there's a saying like you need 10,000 hours, right, of something in order to become good, like to become a pro at something. You put in 10,000 hours in the lab, and like that's only halfway true because it's just like an efficiency scale, right? And the reality is you cannot just waste your time practicing like this one move 10,000 times. Like, yeah, you'll be good at that one move, but you won't know anything else. You won't know any of the other fundamental things of a game, especially like Smash, where it's important that neutral, execution, clutch, defense, approach, right? How to play off the ledge. Like, there's all these things that are important, and which Crispin really understands well. And then, like he said, like in an environment like this particular one where you're playing online and latency is a factor, he's knowledgeable enough to know like, hey, I'm going to stay away from doing these risky high execution moves in a setting where it's challenging for me, and instead I just concentrate on these like low risk, high reward plays or safe tactics to help me secure a win. And you can tell in this play, like I'm not a good Smash player at all, and I couldn't even tell you half of the things in Smash, like what they do or why they do what they do. But I can tell you that Crispin is a good player because he understands neutral so well. He understands spacing and tempo and when to put the pressure and when to be defensive. And his approach is just very, very clean. So I think if you watch any of his games from the league, you'll see that like he just outplayed all his opponents. He just was better at the fundamentals than all of his opponents, and that's why he went undefeated. So
yeah, we're gonna link that VOD in this video post, so make sure you guys check that out. Their whole VODs for their whole league, it will be on that Twitch channel as well. We're gonna wrap it up pretty soon, but I want to get some final thoughts. Coach Labrador wanted to ask, because you had to form something new, and it's very exciting. The Teens and Titans needed a esports team. Why was the Ronins chosen for the esports Teens and Titans?
Okay, well, actually, it was a democracy. I actually had other names, but I kind of voted. We had a vote, pretty much a voting, and this was the outcome. Ronins.
Yeah.
Ronins.
Well, is it gonna be the Teens and Titans, the Ronins, from here on out? Do you guys plan on going through another regime change? Because I see you got some logos already behind you. It's a pretty awesome logo you got for the I guess mascot of the Ronins. So, are we gonna be seeing the Ronins from here on out as long as you're in charge? Okay, I think we lost audio there, but I think you said yes.
Oh.
Mic check 1 2.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, I just said yeah, pretty much. I
Okay,
dig it.
awesome.
We're gonna carry this.
Okay, Joshua, what are your final sentiments on the league? I know what you said you're going to be a senior now, so you got at least one more year of this. How much are you looking forward to seeing this continue? Are you planning on continuing playing other games, or was your Smash just kind of your thing, and you're going to be supporting from the rest of the way on the sideline for Tiyan?
Well, I do plan on staying. I do plan on staying, and I do play other games. So I'm actually very excited on what games they will add in to the GDOE program. And overall, the tournament was fun. The program was super fun. It was nerve-wracking, stressful, but it was fun because it was very rewarding at the end.
Same thing with you, Christian. What other games do you play, and how much are you looking forward to being a part of the Tees and Titans Ronins for the rest of your high school career?
As for other games that I play other than Smash, I play Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone. Actually, I play it pretty competitively, but it's like a side thing. Not sure if they're gonna ever add that. That seems a lot more complicated than it does with Smash.
Yeah.
And as for how I feel about how I'm going to be joining and continuing to play for the Ronins, pretty excited about it, actually. I do have some other friends at school that can't exactly play online, so I know once it gets back to offline play, even with Krispin gone, I still might be able to say that we'll be at full strength.
Awesome. And Crispin will end I guess the team session with you. You're on your way out, so unfortunately, this was your parting gift to the league, undefeated. Here's the championship. I did my thing. How excited are you to see this grow? And do you plan on being part of I guess the process of growing esports on Island now that you're going to be out of high school?
Oh yeah, I definitely want to try coaching. But mainly for covering fighting games because I'm not that good at first-person shooters. I'm bad at that. It's my weak point. But it's like fighting. Okay. After fighting, I will do my best to coach go over fundamentals and go across all fighting games. And yeah, I think if I can coach over fighting area, I think I can help with that. I'll do my best.
You built a pretty good resume in high school already. All right, Ken, I'm going to close it out with you. Can you just let everyone know? I mean, Smash Brothers tournament's over, but I know you guys are working on a lot of things, especially, you're going to keep – you're part of the Latte Stone. You're in charge of all this, so you're going to keep this thing running. What are some of the big things and big gaming events that we can look forward to? Because I'm sure you guys are slowly building your following here. So let people know what you got on board, what's coming up next, and what's coming up real soon.
Sure. Before I do that, I just want to say that, these guys are saying, hey, thank you, Ken, for doing this. But really, this was not my initiative. I mean, I had the idea. I wanted esports to be involved in schools. But, if it wasn't for John Fernandez and Al Garrido, it wouldn't be here. And then those two guys, they were the catalyst. They pushed it. They had the plan. They approached some people with the plan. They reached out to me and we connected. And, it's just like kind of the right timing, right? Where, you got a guy who's really into it and passionate about it and experienced in it. So he's able to help, facilitate the process for two guys, Al and John, who believe in the idea, but maybe don't have the experience to throw it. So that's that. And I think I'm very grateful to those two and Mark Mediola for making me a part of this. I think it's a blessing. I mean, this is really something I'm passionate about, and I think I want to grow it. I like to see the kids grow. I like sports, and I think esports teaches all of the same lessons. And I think it's a vital part of any student's growth in high school. So yeah, I'm glad with that. But, Latte ESPORTS, we do everything. We've done 10 tournaments last year. We did MOBA tournaments. We did Dota tournaments last year. We have a League of Legends summer season going on right now. We have games every Saturday at 9 p.m. on our Twitch stream. On Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of this week, there's all-star games for Smash. So you'll see Joshua compete tomorrow at 4 p.m. In a top 8 between all the C-seeded players. Christian is going to compete on Thursday at 4 p.m. against the other B-seed players. And then Krispin will compete on Friday at 4 p.m. versus all the A-seed players. So, and then we're going to help, develop a all-star team, you know what I mean? Or, at least individual accolades for some of these players. So, and, that'll be streamed on our Twitch channel. There'll be a VOD that you guys can watch. And like, it just doesn't stop there. The ball's in Mr. Fernandez and Mr. Garrido's court. Like next year, do they want to do esports, the first quarter? Is it feasible? We'll see. And I hope it is. I hope, maybe social distancing isn't lifted, so maybe we have to still rely on an online tournament. That's fine. Like, it's proof that it can work. Regular sports can't work in this capacity, but esports can. So, I'm excited to see, and whether or not it happens in a school, I promise you, like, there are going to be a lot of gaming tournaments on Guam. And if you want to compete in the gaming tournament, follow Latte ESPORTS on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, join our Discord, and jump in and let us know what games you want to play, because we're going to host them all. So that's
awesome. Yeah. And I can vouch for Ken. I've known Ken to be a part of the video game, and especially the fighting game community, for a really long time. So this is the guy that you want to follow and keep tabs on, because he's very passionate about this stuff. And I think the league's in good hands. Yes, shout out to John Fernandez and Al Garrido. They've been huge catalysts for promoting this. It takes a lot to convince a school board that video games is considered a sport. So the fact that they want to and we're able to push this through, especially during this time, was a huge push for esports on Guam. So thank you guys for joining me today. We had a great conversation. People can link or the link for the VOD will be in this video or in this post, so people can go check out your highlights if you want to. But yeah, you guys, like Ken said, you guys got matches this week. Good luck. I hope you guys do well, and congratulations to the Tiyan Ronins, the first champions of the Latte ESPORTS GDOE League ever. So congratulations, and thanks again for joining me, guys. We're going to go ahead and end the call here, and best of luck. We'll keep in touch, and you guys keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thanks, Rob.
Okay.
Good interview, man. It's a great interview.
Thank you.